Hello, and welcome to another session of London Vampire the Requiem. Tonight, we will be watching, listening as three Ordo members meet up at a local bar. Some know each other, some are meeting for the first time forever. Let's sit back and see how it goes. All right. So, any bar in particular you guys had in mind, or
Uh, Julie would recommend just like a quieter pub. No reason to be in a
all right,
place that's overly excited with football fans.
all right,
Quite true. Plus, they come in packs, so it's a little more difficult if you just want to feed or have a punch up.
all right. So, small little pub, um, one of those little quaint places has a cherry wood counter, stools, um, a nice display of different local vintages and ales on the back bar, but otherwise is a pretty much a hole in the wall place. Very quiet. Only the locals really go here. It's one of those rare places that doesn't even have a TV, just music, just a little radio. Once in a while they'll have live music, but otherwise it's fairly quaint. Um, Nikolai is probably the first to arrive, for once, not looking completely out of place in this setting. He's just sitting in the corner, trying to be discreet, minding his own business. No one really seems to notice him as he sits there, um, nursing a beer he hasn't really touched, watching as people go back and forth on their local business.
Uh, Julian would walk in, kind of scanning the room, um, taking notice of the fact that this place is such a quaint place. He looks more relaxed than he might expect him to be as he begins walking through, past the tables, past the bar, sitting next to a fellow kindred that he could sense throughout this room. He sits down quietly, not making eye contact with them yet, but he seems to be looking at the door, waiting for another person to arrive.
And it doesn't take too long for this person that the two of you know, some better, some less, to walk in. It's our good old friend Marcus in his thrift shop clothes. Um, yeah, shaggy, slightly unkempt beard, very prominently protruding from the chin. Walks in, sees the bartender, gives him a nod, quickly goes over, decides that he'll get himself a nice big pint of Sprite, and will be very casually slendering over to you two and sitting down, wishing you, ah, good evening, gents.
Hello.
Yeah, Julian will finally actually turn his eyes looking to the new person for him and will incline his head and say, "Hello."
How big is Julian?
He's pretty big. He's like 6'4". He's more wide than tall,
All
but
right. Well, he's towering over this little guy who's like 5'4". So Nikolai will look up and at him and give a meek hello and sort of do a small wave.
Julian, may I introduce? And he points to Nikolai. That's Nikolai, a fellow member of our order. And I had the pleasure of having a bit of a chat with him a few nights ago. He's kosher. And he gives Julian an encouraging wink.
So we'll look at these new arrival and say, well, I'm glad that another order blesses the city. And maybe you can be maybe you can be one of the few that can help keep the city in some proper order. The other groups are trying to tear each other apart.
Yes, I noticed that. They seem very, very much at each other's throats.
Mind you, it's not stopping the Carthians from annexing territory from us. I was down in Kingston. That was irritating, to say the least.
Yeah.
This annexation. Did they try to kick you out?
No, they seem to be cool enough with me hanging around. But they were making no secret that de facto they look upon that territory as theirs, even if it's officially ours, that being the borough of Kingston upon Thames.
Interesting.
Let's just no. They will know eventually soon enough if something goes wrong. They'll be crawling back to us.
I'm definitely interested to see what our head cheese has to say about the situation. If that's on purpose, if they're okay with that. If not, are there any plans or things going on?
Still,
I
I
mean,
too am looking for territory. And this
so am
seems
I.
inconvenient. I will approach. I have some in with the Invictus. I will approach one of my contacts and see what they have to say as well.
But anyway, so that's that. Apart from that, I wasn't really attacked or anything. They seem to be fine tolerating me.
Well, I should hope so. They were to attack you while you are in your within Ordo claimed territory. That would be a declaration of sorts. Would not?
It could be taken as a casus belli, yes.
And as this conversation keeps going, Julian kind of has like a look of realization now, really focusing on the conversation. So you're telling me right now, did you lose your home because of what they did?
Marcus looks at Julian with a questioning expression. Who? Me?
He nods.
Or him?
Either, to be honest.
I am barely 2 months in this city. Holding up his hands. As in, don't look at him. I am still staying with my sire.
He nods and really thinks about this for a moment. I'll want to talk to the Ordo then about this. It'd be one thing if they took territory that we weren't using, per se. But if someone were to be evicted from their homes, I will have a personal problem with that.
That's what you mean. No, I didn't have territory anywhere to begin with. Luckily enough, my sire's territory was to the south, a good deal south from here, but accessible enough. Mind you, we were taking mostly land routes, trying to stay away from the more populated areas. I had my reasons. Mostly because it was easier to get to farm animals and slake my thirst that way.
Is there a story behind this?
There probably is, but currently I'm not too interested in telling it. I'm just not in the mood.
Why?
I'm sure you'll hear it one of these nights. Don't worry. But yeah, I guess technically I was poaching on somebody's territory, but I always made sure that I was gone the next night, so didn't really come across anyone, or nobody minded.
Does anyone have an active hold claim to the Thames? Kingston?
Not that I know
That's
of.
that's what I'll be requesting, trying to find out. Of course, if none of our order were residing there, then I'm not surprised that the Carthians just swarmed in unopposed. But if anyone was, yeah. Ever since I came back, I've been thinking about this. After all, the order doesn't want to appear weak. If not, that might embolden other covenants and start giving some people funny ideas, if you catch my drift.
I can understand that, but I would suggest we, as the new boy in town, as it were, we would approach this carefully. The Ordo is in a good spot right now. From what I can tell, we are neither anyone's ally or anyone's true friend. I'd hate to see this covenant dragged into the political maelstrom.
Oh, don't get me wrong. While I was there, I kept my tongue well to myself. I was just observing. But don't worry. I know the importance of a well-oiled chain of command. I'm not doing anything unless the Kugayan gives her amen and blessing on that one. And even then, I first want to find out what the official, how should I say, policy is.
Julian looks a mixture of understanding and irritation at your statement. Then he says, "But I don't want us to wait too long. The Carthians have been feeling overly righteous, more than they usually are, to be honest, because of recent events, and they're lashing out at what they think is an easy target."
Why?
That is a good question. My yeah. After all, Nikolai and I haven't been in the city for quite as long as you have, so we are missing the backstory.
Well, to inform you as much as I know, for a while, particularly with the Invictus and the Carthians, they have been fighting over territory, and the Carthians have been accusing the Invictus of random attacks of recent, though there are at the moment seem to be cat paw, so they can't say exactly that is Invictus, but they say they see signs. And it's been happening for a while, and then the Carthians have been losing territory for quite some time as well, and they have not been liking that.
Hmm.
They are a bit of a, they are, in comparison to the other groups, a bit more locked out of resources, oddly enough.
Hmm.
Or,
Interesting. And Marcus produces a map with the boroughs of London, and they are marked with red dots, purple dots, yellow dots, green dots, light blue dots, and even one white dot. Yeah, come to think of it, of course, the Invictus have secured themselves, and he traces with his finger over Kensington and Chelsea, Westminster, Islington. Of course, they have got the City of London, so that's all the really high financial stuff bound up. Tower and Hamlet, Newham, Greenwich, Brexley, Merton. Uh, heck, at least half of Wandsworth they have under their control too, while the Carthians are very much pushed to the west end mostly. But, and he points at Kingston, I perfectly can understand the move they went for, starting to bleed in to Kingston. If there is not a reasonably big or even at all a proper Ordo presence there, it's a relatively easy thing because you see Richmond Park here. He points at it. It's very easy to then just slowly, take over from the north to the south. Then to the west, you have got a big line that is bordering on Invictus territory, so I can perfectly understand why they would want to do that, even if it's not full encircling. And there's only this relatively small corridor for us between Sutton and Kingston itself. So, yeah, I mean, it makes sense, especially the way they progressed.
since or not, they still attacked us, and without provocation. Desperate.
Attacked you? When? Where?
No, as in for taking the territory.
Hmm.
Desperation or not, if they needed more territory, they could have negotiated. They did not negotiate, they simply took it.
That is quite true.
Hmm.
Probably would have been the more diplomatic way of going about it, especially if it's an area where hardly any Ordo are.
As far as I could tell from Carthians, it's diplomacy when it's on their favor.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Understood. Understood. To be fair, I should probably find out what stripe of Carthian they are. I mean, are we talking here about anarchists, communists, anarcho-capitalists?
Hmm. As far as I've heard, they're divided. I'm sure there's every flavor of Carthian here.
Almost the whole political spectrum, I see. Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Hmm. Interesting. But yeah. Something else, and that is something, yeah, Nikolai was around to probably catch on. The Ringmaster, uh, took me to the side and had a little message for me. Well, to be more precise, for the Order Dracul.
What did he have to say? Or what did the Lankea have to say? That would probably be more accurate.
As far as it sounded, it did sound as if he was speaking on the authority of the Lance. That the Lankea Sanctum would be more than happy to help out the Order Dracul reclaiming Kingston upon Thames.
That seems convenient.
Yeah, almost too convenient. I told him that I would pass it on to my higher ups and see what they decide.
The Ringmaster is a difficult sort. But if he's speaking on the Lankea, they must want something.
Oh, it's our kind. Of course, they will want something in return.
True, but there are the occasions of proper generosity. But don't feel it in this one.
Yeah, I just don't take him for the overly charitable type. Let's put it that way. I've got no ill will towards him, mind you. It's just in the nature of things. You normally do something, and there is always something else that needs to balance it out.
Indeed.
But yeah, so that's that. There is a lovely deer park in Kingston, and I have to say, I really had to pull myself together to not go and get myself some, some good old veal. Anyway, otherwise things went reasonably well. At least I didn't come back empty-handed, I'm happy to say.
He nods.
Now I just have to figure out a way how to express that I would like whatever thanks or reward were to come my direction to be redirected to the Order Dracul proper.
It's not like we already don't have enough things we should be focusing on. I'm still trying to figure out this drug issue, and that monster further east.
Monster?
There's been a powerful possession of a particular hunger spirit.
Well, is this a spider demon someone mentioned?
It looks like several insects. It might have also been a spider.
Interesting. Well, that field I may be able to help with.
That'd be much appreciated. I'm more into the physical than the spiritual.
I am trained within the cult, though my specialty is our kind own society. I've dabbled in other of the spiritualistic natures and studies.
I see.
Let me guess, you did that during your breathing days, didn't you?
he sort of gives the back and forth hand wave, like sort of.
Yeah. Marcus nods. No, it's fine. It's fine. I got my answer. Thank you.
These hunger spirits, what have they been doing?
Eating mainly. They've been draining things dry, which I'm kind of surprised about that, but I think it's due to its insect nature.
Draining things dry.
Not like us.
Well,
The internals are gone too, completely castigated.
ah,
But
that sounds like typical spider behavior. They
notes
cat, yeah.
notes
Well,
that down in a small notebook. Yes. Anything else you can tell me about them?
Highly resilient, seems to be intelligent. It can also revert its body back into its human host, looking like any other person.
Do we believe there's more than one?
As far as we can tell, there is only one.
Let's see. I will make some inquiries after this meeting. AKA, I'll roll my dice and bug the GM about answers.
no problem. So you said to the east, just East London, outside of the Greater London area, you know? Where exactly, so that I don't accidentally wander off there?
Uh, Julia will give you a particular answer, though the player does not remember exactly where.
It's fine. It's fine. Basically, on the map, he just takes a pencil and sort of, okay, that general area. Thank you. Excellent. Very good. Okay, fair enough. Can't say I can really help out there because, well, you know, still new to almost everything. But I'm catching up.
There's no need to be in a rush. Me and Moreau will most likely take care of it. It also seems that our new friend knows a thing or two, so I'll make that easier.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised if this fellow here could summon Cthulhu at some point.
Well, you bring it up. Dillian's eyes kind of slightly narrow, though. He's thinking you're joking, but part of his mind's like, well, you wouldn't bring it up unless you could do something like that.
Um, Nikolai just says he's only joking.
Yeah, that was meant as a joke. You guys don't want to tell me that we're actually able to summon chthonic horrors of that stripe, right? Right? He smiles, very slowly, starting to look nervous.
I heard rumors that with the crone they can summon monsters.
The Krone can summon monsters and other things outside of this world through unique rituals. I have seen it happen once or twice.
All right then, me and me big gabber. Oh.
That being said,
Anyway, that That's a little bombshell to marinate on. Anyway, you were about to say?
That being said, I do not specialize in that sort of demonic worship, nor do I see any need to pursue such matters. I am more on the investigation side when it comes to the supernatural. Rory had to make that clear once.
Well, makes you a whole heck more useful in such a situation than little old me.
There is this American show. I can make a comparison to myself with that.
That will probably not help because I was homeless for a good few years and are pretty much out of the loop when
I
it comes to stuff
believe
like that.
it is called Buffy.
Unless it's old enough. Yeah. I've seen it. Yeah.
I am your Giles.
Gotcha. Well, glad to have you on board and on our side.
So, what else can you tell me about this city?
Well, as far as I could tell, I don't. Outside of that monster, at least I haven't heard about any other supernatural around here.
The only info I can give is that I would say about 5, maximum 10 miles outside. I would say to the southwest, actually from the lower point tip of Kingston itself, where there is a bigger forest and nature park. I mean, I was sort of traveling at the very outskirts of it, and he moves in closer. I swear I saw the silhouettes of 2 werewolves.
Interesting.
And then when I'd left the territory, there was this lovely blood-curdling howl. Yeah, we decided at that point just to make double time. Apart from that, apart from our kind, I haven't seen anything particularly out of the ordinary.
Just nod slowly.
Have any of you guys ever met any wizards? I'm just sort of trying to find out what else is going bump in the night.
No. And I guess that confirms that magic really exists.
I assumed as much, just due to the fact that I'm walking and talking.
Net, but I've heard tell. Such things exist.
Let's put it that way. At this point, I wouldn't be too greatly surprised about anything, if, even if it were a mammoth coming out of the ground from some hollow earth thing. Well, at least I hope that isn't real. Come
Though
to
I
think of
must
it, that
ask,
would be terrifying. But anyway, that's just some idle musings on my part. So, Nikolai, how uh, have you been able to find a place? Are you getting yourself comfortable? You know, how are things?
this has only been a couple of nights. I'm still looking. I am, how you'd say it, picky about the place I want to settle.
Fair enough.
I am looking for a worm's nest before I make my choices.
I wouldn't recommend living at a worm's nest.
Hmm.
Perhaps not living, but nearby.
The one that I know for sure is the one where the monster is at, which I wouldn't recommend living next to that.
If you can take good control of the nest, and you have the proper know-how, you can make those fairly well defended. We get rid of the monster. I can show you what one such as myself could do with such a place.
Hmm.
Hmm. I can't say I've ever seen one live before.
They are. I would doubt you would even know if you came across it. A nest is simply a place of power. They do not hold to any particular um a particular, well, you would say it, conventions. They change. They are different from place to place.
Hmm. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, if what I was told is even halfway true, I'd probably not even be able to see it. It's not as if I had all specs or something like that. Or any other ability to make to see the unseen. Doesn't mean I wouldn't like to learn. But yeah, this demon you guys talk about, has it got any physicality to itself? Um,
In the sense of how it could defend itself or what it looks like.
physicality, as in when it walks around, does it make you know? Uh, damn it, what did I want to say? Ah, yeah, exactly. Does it snap twigs? Does it seem to move the grass? Does it leave footprints in the snow? You know.
It is a physical entity, yes. But said the problem is it can revert to a human shape. When it's in its true form, it is the equivalency of a thing, or what do they call it? A xenomorph, yes, that thing.
Ah, now there is something I understand.
But in its human form, it looks like anybody else. And without proper tools, you cannot sense it in its human form.
Ah, so it can cloak itself from us. Okay. Interesting.
If you're
Have
talking
you
about
guys
any
been?
physical, any
Mhm.
tells of it being nearby, I do believe if it wishes to, it could promote hunger around things, around the people, around the things around it.
Okay. hmm when it reverts back into its human form, does it stick to one specific human form or is it a face changer?
I
That
do
I'm
not.
not sure. You were saying, Nikolai.
I was just going to say, I believe they have not seen the face yet, otherwise they'd be hunting that mortal. Um, there is a number of possibilities. Like you've suggested, this thing could be possessing an individual, riding them like and wearing them like a coat. Or it could be something, but the possibility of it being a face changer of some sort, something that can take mortal form, is distinctly possible. Though, given its nature, I believe it's most likely the latter or the first one.
Hmm. Marcus has an idea and he starts breaking out his smartphone and cross checking the X on the map with a different survey map and goes like, huh, okay, the point you marked. I mean, I had my suspicions, but it's in a place where two ley lines cross, sometimes also called dragon lines.
That certainly explains why there is a worm's nest there. The conveyance of energy would most likely create an opening of sorts,
Hmm.
an upwell of energy.
Hmm. Interesting. Uh, I just remember years ago I read something from Deniken and he was talking about those lines and something you said jogged a memory. Hmm. But yeah, sort of makes sense. If we were able to tap into that power, then shouldn't surprise us that other beings can tap into that power too.
And many of those beings do it better than us. Still, there's a worm nest there, if it is being investigated, and if it is as active as you say, it is probably better for the Ordo to acquire it before such forces as the um, Lancium Sanctum or Worm gets it. Or, sorry, not Worm, Crone.
Oh, so they use dragon's nests as well?
They do not believe in such a manner, but if they were to acquire such a place of power, no doubt they could power their rituals with it.
Like a ritual to change the weather, or at least influence it?
I do not want to go down that road just yet. That is
No,
speculation.
but would it at least theoretically be possible? I'm not looking into it for myself, but it would answer. It would give me a puzzle piece, possibly.
Perhaps, but that is only a perhaps. The if this was a the a crone ritual, there are many other ways they could do such a feat. If one has a garden of theirs or an altar, the they can pull off some more spectacular things. You must remember, with ritualists such as they, it is ritual magic. It is not a single actor. It is rarely a single actor, at least.
Okay, and he's noting down stuff in shorthand on napkins, and regularly putting them in his chest pocket. Hmm, interesting. Okay. Well, at least we have established there are different kinds of magic in that case.
Out
Huh.
of character, let me know if any of that ever helps you succeed on something. Because at that point, I regain a willpower.
Um, my character has certain aspirations.
Yeah, I know.
Does answering an aspiration give anyone something?
No, it's
Ah,
out of character. My mask is Guru.
Okay.
So answering and helping people and giving advice. Just don't tell the Ordo, or just don't tell the crones I told you that all this.
The who?
The crone. Haha.
I know. We understand each other. But anyway, goes, okay, interesting, huh? And I only thought that they were using a derivation or a variation at the very least of blood sorcery, or the basic stuff that we use on a night-to-night basis.
That is one theory, though it does not explain some of their more potent magics.
Hmm. Have you ever had the feeling that you were like a few steps away from the bigger picture, and that you sort of know you have got that gut feeling, but you just can't put your finger on it? Why?
Like,
Yeah. I mean, it probably has nothing to do with this. Let's just say about a week before the whole incident, and he gestures to himself, becoming what before having become what I am. I was plagued by some very weird, reoccurring dreams. Well, one specifically.
Just raises an eyebrow.
I mean, it could really be nothing. Could, but who knows? Maybe you can help out with that. I was having a dream that I was in the middle of a jungle, partially tropical, and basically every time I dreamt, I was seeing a very shadowy tower in front of me at a great distance, and basically every time that dream repeated itself, I got there just a little closer. Just a little closer.
Did this tower have any significant markings?
That was the weird thing at the beginning. As far as I could remember, the first time I dreamt it, I couldn't make them out at all. And then in the last dream, I was starting to see those symbols or runes or whatever the heck they were, starting to see them less fuzzy. I even sort of have a vague memory of one, and then the the next night I ran into my sire, and ever since I haven't had those dreams anymore. Quite frankly, I haven't been having any dreams ever since I was embraced.
I will take note of that. Sorry, that was me. I will see if I can dig some stuff up. Again, don't want to roll or give information that I'm not sure.
No. This, nah. Marcus will just go like, if you find something cool, I guess. Yeah, the only thing I know is that I sort of had the feeling that it had very big significance, but that's the best I can give you. I don't even know why the hell I brought it up. He just shakes his head. Anyway, there was way more basic stuff that needs taken care of.
Hmm.
He just shakes his head and looks away. Okay. So, if, for the sake of argument, we would say that Theban sorcery is that, a form of sorcery, a form of magic, and that it is not directly linked, you know. to the blood. Where would they be drawing the energy from?
That depends on your mindset, then. Because as far as I hear with magic, it can come from several places. The self, God. And unless you can actually see where the magic is coming from, you can't truly know.
Hmm. I won't pretend that I've got a full understanding of what exactly is going on, but at least I think I'm getting the general gist here. Okay. Well, yeah. The universe is turning out to be in many shapes and forms. And yeah, a lot of them are not really conforming to what I used to assume reality to be.
Not solely.
At least that's something Harry would have said. Still feel a bit guilty that I couldn't help him.
Help who?
Harry. He was the fourth in my little quartet, which is now only a trio. Me and my good friends. He was the one who got drunk dry by my sire.
I see.
That was the whole reason why I attacked him in the first place. But I was too weak. Goddamn fucker shrugged off that cricket bat as if it was nothing, as if I'd attacked him with a newspaper.
The advantage of being of your clan. I'm sorry for your loss.
It's okay. It's okay. What would Natalia say? Yeah, exactly. I'm Captain Bring Down here. But thank you, Julian. It's appreciated.
Julian will push his chair from the table and begin to stand. With this new information, I must be going and start talking to some people. Another thing yet to do on the list of being an Ordo, if you excuse me.
You're excused. Safe travels, mate.
Likewise.
Thanks.
And Julian will begin to leave.
Right. The night is still young, and there are things to do. Holds out his hand as he stands.
Marcus stands up almost at the same time and takes the hand and gives it a good firm handshake. Nikolai, I wish you a lot of luck and success with whatever projects you'll be busying yourself with. And come to think of it, Yeah, there are a few places I have to check out myself. I might have found a place that might be able to get me some resources, some good old fashioned moolah. Once I've got that, I can start building. Anyway, don't want to take any more of your time. Gives you a nod, and he rushes out of the pub.
And we'll end the scene with Nikolai discreetly picking up his beer glass and pouring the contents into a nearby planter as he gets ready to leave as well.